Welcome to the Idaho Business Podcast, the only Idaho podcast focused on providing profits for Idaho people. If you love our state and love small business, you are in the right place. We interview local legends, learn business, and have way too much fun doing it. You're listening to the Idaho Business Podcast with your friend, host, and all-around great guy and owner of New Clean Commercial Cleaning, Spencer Ward.
All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Idaho Business Podcast. We are entering, hopefully, spring here, guys. It's getting a little sunnier, like I said last week, and I'm liking it. I'm liking it that we're seeing the snow melt. Hope we're not going to have an eternal winter like we did last year. Those that are in southeast Idaho, I think you can understand what I'm talking about. Those are in other areas, you may or may not have known what we went through last year. So, as always, we're sponsored by Hell West. Great organization, great people over there. Give them a holler and find out where they are located closest to you. Give them a Google. Now we're entering the end of our second week and going into our third week of this acquisition that we've put ourselves into, which has been good. And we have been making literally a mental checklist that we're going to be writing down of things that because this is our first time, obviously, for things that we've done right and things that we've liked and things that we have seen that we're like, you know what, going forward, once we acquire another company, we need to do it a different way. There needs to be a smarter way to do that, a more seamless way of doing things. And, I'm really trying to, take my own advice. I always talk about systems and stuff like that. And I live by that. So I don't like to do things over and over again, solving the same problem over and over again in a manual way. I like to automate things. So that this week, we noticed that again, where there was no systems in place really that, we're talking about coverage now. Any company that you have, I don't care if you're manager of a bank, you're a construction company, your HVAC company, you whatever kind of industry, engineers, you got to have coverage. You got to have backup because if you have an engineer go down, you need to have another one that can go out and do the job that day. If they're sick, they have a kid that falls off the couch, they got to take them to urgent care. Things happen. You got to plan for things that happen in real life. We're too busy and too quick to have only perfect world scenarios going through our head. Oh, I only need one employee to handle this one job. Okay, but what happens when life happens? Obviously, you want to count on those employees to do those jobs, but why not cross-train some people to do each other's jobs? So when Kyle's out or Megan's out, they can help cross-train, know their individual positions enough that they can keep the boat sailing. And that's what we're focusing on this week is, hey, everyone knows their piece of the pie really well, but no one else knows that piece of the pie. So now we're literally trying to take people and show them all the whole pie together, and little by little teaching them all the different parts of the business, not all the different parts, but like locations and that kind of stuff with our industry, and how much easier it is when people get sick, people, heaven forbid they quit, or you have to fire someone. You have someone in the rears in the backup position ready to do the work. Another thing too, when you have good individuals and you're like, eventually I know you're going to be promoted. We're going to promote you. We're going to put you up in a different position. Wouldn't it be nice if that individual who's done that position so well wrote out like a game plan, like a full-on map of like an outline of how they do their job so well? So the next person after you promote that individual can step right into that position with this pretty much a cheat code, a script of like, oh, this is how this individual is so successful. She's giving me the cheat codes right here to how to do it. And that way, that individual is showing their worth to the company more than you as the owners or your upper management get to see that position is quickly getting in line again as you promote that individual because they have that cheat sheet available. So I feel like people that are have a good mind about them and they know, hey, you know what? I'm rising up. I want more for myself. As long as I'm doing my job and I'm adding to the bottom line, heck yeah, let's do it. But let me help out. Let's put this together for the company, because they're going to see that's going to be beneficial. If this person's doing their job at a good level, then it's going to probably trickle up or trickle down to help them or their other people below them do their job well, and the company continue to function in a high degree. And I think those things all across the board, we really need to be focusing on, because we run our companies that, function for years, when we feel like they're on autopilot and they're just working great. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, something will happen and we're not ready for it. And then we're thinking, oh my heck, now I've got to jump into the trenches and train and work and do all this stuff because we didn't have people cross-trained. We didn't have a cheat code set up for that position to help that new person that we hired for that position get up to speed faster and more efficiently. So these things I've been thinking a lot about lately. I hope you guys can take some of the gibberish I've been talking about into some consideration, because these are things that obviously are very helpful to us. And the big thing is also that we've taken into our game plan as we've acquired this new company is, hey, if it's working in this company, let's just go ahead and do it. Make quick decisions and act. Make quick actions. And sometimes they might be wrong. Sometimes, and most of the time, they're going to be right. But I love just taking action. I can't stand just thinking about something and then thinking, and then just waiting on the sidelines, thinking, oh, should I do it or should I not? Meanwhile, life's passing you by, and your company's, could be benefiting from this or not. Give it a try. Take some action. Come on. So I hope you guys are going to take this and hopefully run and have some benefit from what I'm talking about. So go out there, enjoy the sun, find ways to cross-train your people and put those cheat codes into place, and go to your people that are going to eventually be promoted and be like, hey, would you mind? You're so successful in this position. Could you, like, obviously we have your duties and responsibilities, the general boring stuff that we give with those positions as we hire them. But could you write down a little more of a cheat code? Like what really do you do on a daily, weekly, monthly that really makes you successful in this role? And have them break it down. Hey, when this happens, I do this. If this happens, I do this. When I run into this situation, I do this. And help them that way. And it makes it so easy to bring another person into that role. Honestly, I feel like if people aren't willing to do that, number one, they're not a team player. And number two, they're all they're doing is just the bare minimum, I feel like, just to keep that job. Where you want someone that's going to want to continue to help and to rise up in the company and to earn more and to do more. So I think that's a huge one. So I might get some flack for that one, but I think that's important. So go out there, go do some hard things, and go make your company a little bit better and make your teams a little bit better, and go smile. Be happy, be grateful, go find opportunities to serve others. And as always, adios. We'll see you next week.
Congratulations on spending a couple of minutes getting a little bit smarter, having some fun, and supporting the Idaho business community. If you're feeling the love, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you are.